Hi, and welcome to another SecretEntourage.com video. Today we have the pleasure of speaking with Kristen Hadeed, the founder of Student Maid, and a very young and beautiful speaker as well. So welcome to the show, Kristen. We appreciate you being on.
Thanks for having me.
And so you founded Student Maid back in college, and I've read kind of your stuff. You've had a series of failed little ventures when you were much younger, from a lemonade stand all the way to a very successful cancer campaign. So, I just want to know, before we even start, where do you get your motivation from? What made you want to have a lemonade stand so young?
Sure. So when I think back to my childhood, I was always super curious. Most girls were probably interested in playing with Barbies, and I wanted nothing to do with that. I was so fascinated with business, and I remember I got a cash register for Christmas when I was like 4 or 5, and I couldn't stop playing with it. I just was obsessed with learning more about people and business and that sort of thing. So as a kid, I was definitely entrepreneurial, and I wouldn't stick with one project very long. So I would always move from one project to the next. I had the lemonade stand. I remember my sister and I, we had a store. It was called LK Variety Store. L was for her name, Lauren. K is me, Kristen. And my dad built us this wooden stand, and we would sell random household items on the street every weekend. And it turns out we were selling my parents' items, and they had no idea. So when they found out, they shut us down. But yeah, I was always very entrepreneurial, and I think this creative spirit followed me, from my childhood into high school and into college. And I would say my motivation is my own curiosity, really.
So, there was something that stood out to me in your TEDx talk that I want to kind of bring up, is when you were very young, you looked at in that little the LK Variety Store, you had a scene where you said you were making your sister do all the work, and you were selling your parents' stuff. So that's actually a very entrepreneurial thing to do, right? Like, find a good way to get kind of the work done without actually having to do it, so you can focus on other things.
Right.
Where did you learn to do that so young?
Or was Honestly, it just I don't know. Maybe it was just, innate. But no, I guess that you have a point. When I think back to my childhood, all of my enterprises, I wasn't alone. I always had a friend with me who was helping me, doing work with me. So I guess from an early age, I realized if I'm going to make this happen, I can't, be just me. I have to have help. So yeah, I don't know where that came from, but it must be an instinct. I'm not sure.
So tell us a little bit about this good cause kind of / business nonprofit that came about. I know you did some amazing efforts there, and I heard that you're still continuing to kind of integrate that into your today's kind of businesses.
Yes. So you're talking about Project Pink. So, like I said, as a kid, very, very entrepreneurial, had all these projects. They continued, into my middle school years. When I came to high school, a teacher of mine who was diagnosed with cancer, she taught me for 6 years in science. She was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she just meant the world to me. And there was a group of friends, and we were very close to her, and we wanted to help her, but what can you really do for somebody who has cancer? You can't cure cancer. So we thought, well, let's show our support. So we started this project called Project Pink, and we remained anonymous. And what we did is we got our entire school to wear pink on Tuesdays. That was the day that she had her chemo treatments. And what happened was remarkable. This initiative that started, with a bunch of high school students spread super quickly into our community, and you would go into the grocery store on a Tuesday and everyone would be wearing pink. And so months passed by, we learned that she beat her cancer. And I remember we decided, okay, we're going to tell her that we're the ones behind this project. So we went into her classroom and we revealed our identities. And I remember it was so powerful. At 16, she looked at me and said, I want you to know that you saved my life. And at 16, that's a pretty powerful thing to hear from somebody. And I just remember having this feeling inside, and I didn't know what it was at the time, but it was so powerful. And I made a promise that I would only work on things in my life that gave me that feeling. Well, now, being an entrepreneur, later in my life, I realized that feeling's called passion. And I will say that after that project, it forever changed me. I chose to follow my passion. And So you said integrated into the company that I have today. Yes, we clean free for cancer patients. It is still a very big part of my company today. But yeah, that Project Pink forever changed me.
So let's talk about passion for a second.
Sure.
You found your passion early on through helping others through Project Pink. So that was
Yes.
kind of your niche at the time, and that's kind of remained with you ever since.
Right.
A lot of people today, and I have mixed feelings myself on this, but believe that you don't have to find your passion to really kind of move ahead. Some people say, well, you can just move ahead without it. So for you as an individual, do you feel like finding your passion is indeed an important part of entrepreneurship or not?
Absolutely. I agree. Yes, you can go without a passion, but passion is what's going to get you through the hard times. Because there are days when you want to give up, and the only thing that will keep you going is passion. And so I think that when you see these companies that start off, with a bang and everything's going great, and then all of a sudden they crumble and fall to the ground, it's because maybe the one thing that wasn't there was the passion. Because I think that's kind of the glue that holds everything together, especially when times are not easy.
So tell me about your own failures. Was there a time where you were about to give up, where you couldn't take it?
Oh, which time? Yeah, so I would say the most important lesson I've learned, and I will tell you how I learned this story. Learned this lesson. So when I was in first grade, I sold fake nails. Go figure.
Okay.
I found that if you put Elmer's glue, little drops in your desk, at night, and let it just sit overnight, when you got to school in the morning, you could peel these drops out of your desk and put them on your nail. It was like fake nails. So I would sell fake nails every morning. And one day I remember I walked into my classroom. I had a huge batch ready to go, and my teacher had completely rearranged all of our seats. And so I watched a classmate walk right into my fortune, and she started selling fake nails. And so most kids probably would have given up, but I went after school and bought glitter glue, which happens to be way more popular than just the plain white glue, and totally put her out of business. And so what I learned from an early age is if you can find the opportunity in every single failure or obstacle, you're going to be successful. And so that lesson has followed me. I mean, for being denied a bank loan 20 times. I can tell you a story. We started as a different company name because I didn't know anything about trademarks. Turns out we were infringing on somebody else's trademark. I got a call from an attorney telling me I had 24 hours to completely change my name and throw away everything with that company's logo on it, which was everything I owned. And, that's a devastating failure, but guess what? It gave me the opportunity to rebrand my company. And, our brand now versus our brand then, it's night and day. So I would say finding the opportunity in failure, and there have been so many failures. A time that I really wanted to give up, I can recall a day when 75% of my employees quit in one day.
Why? Why did they quit? Why did 75% of your workforce quit? You can't be that bad of a boss.
I think I was. Well, in order to tell you that, I've kind of got to give you a little bit of background. So should we go into Student Maid and what it is and how?
Go right ahead.
Okay. So I'm in college at the University of Florida and 19 years old, and I don't have a job, and I want a pair of jeans, and they're expensive, and I don't have the money to buy them. So I asked my parents to buy them for me. They say, absolutely not. Get a job. So instead of going out and applying for one, I did what I do best. I figured, what's a project I can do to make the money? So I put an ad on Craigslist to clean houses, and I'm not sure how that happened. I hate cleaning. I just thought it'll be easy to make this money and buy these jeans. And so I cleaned one house, bought the jeans, wasn't that bad, cleaned another house. So slowly I'm growing this, small clientele. And my friends are seeing that I'm making money, and they want to join in. So I hire a few of my friends, and it was very small for about a year. The turning point came right before my senior year in college when I met a property manager who works for a company that actually owned 24 apartment complexes in my area, Gainesville area. So it turns out there was this need for this large cleaning service to handle the volume of work, all these thousands of apartments that need to be cleaned before the new students move in. So very short time window to complete all of these cleanings, and a lot of work, a lot of manpower. So that's when I really decided to take my small cleaning company and kind of, blow it up because in order to do this, I'd have to hire a ton of people. And I just